Morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Oh, you're looking lovely in your check shirt.
Thank you.
Secret Santa did well there, didn't he?
Yes, whoever it was in the family Secret Santa that got me this shirt, thank you.
Yeah, they were on to a winner because they know I like them, weren't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
So the question this morning is, how do I get a trial?
Okay, well, we do get asked this a lot, don't we? And it's definitely worth us reiterating this stuff. The first thing is, to get a trial, obviously, you've got to get scouted. Now, there are occasionally open trials, and you can follow that on and check that out on websites. In girls football, there's a lot of open trials. A lot of scouting is done through clubs having open trials. But generally in men's football, boys football, there's not so many open trials these days, but there are some. Look out for them. But other than that, the main thing is going to be getting scouted. So how do you get scouted? Well, the first thing, this may sound a silly thing to say, is you've got to be playing. You would not believe the number of players who come onto me, get in touch with me through the business and say, I want to get scouted, I want to get into the professional game. And I say, who are you playing for? Well, I'm not actually playing for a club at the moment. You've got to be playing, not five-a-side, not cage football. By all means, do that as well, but you're not going to get scouted generally doing that. You've got to be playing for a club at the highest level that you can. Whether this applies whether you're a kid or whether you're a senior player, play as high as you can. Why? Firstly, the higher the level, the more likely that scouts are watching. Okay, because if you're a scout and you've got 100 games in your area on any given day, you are more likely to go for the top of the pyramid that you can get to. It's not always the case, we know, but generally the best players are playing at the best clubs. So you will go towards the top of the tree as a general rule. So if you as a player want to get in front of that scout, you've got to play higher. Second reason for playing higher is that hopefully you'll get better coaching, you'll be playing with better players, and you'll develop more as a player. If it's an old saying in football, but if you are the best player in your team, you are in the wrong team. That's an argument, isn't it? Because you need to be somewhere that's challenging you, where you're progressing, and so you need to be at a better level. If you're serious about your profession, getting into the profession, then you've got to be serious about where you're playing, and you've got to say, okay, I might not be playing with my mates. This is important to me. I want to get on in football. I need to get at a higher level. So be ruthless when it comes to that. The other thing is, okay, if you do all that and you're playing at a good level and you see other people getting scouted, so you know the scouts are about and it's not happening for you, what can you do? Well, you can send in videos into clubs. So if it's a child we're talking about, you can send in a video to the head of academy recruitment. If you're senior, you go for head of recruitment. You can send in highlights videos, make them as good a quality as you can, as representative as you can. But if you're going to do that, also send fixtures, your next 5 or 6 fixtures. Also send a bit of background, date of birth, who you're playing for, which clubs and so on. Because if a club wants to follow it up, make it easy for them so they know where to come and see you. And I think that's just common sense. But again, you'd be surprised how many people just don't do that. Now, there are pay-for-play sort of trials, out there. Now, some organisations like UK Football Trials have been doing it for a long time, well organised. People do get scouted from those, so that's fair enough. But I see others popping up from time to time, and I would just say be cautious. Do your due diligence. Check out that it is somewhere where people are getting scouted from. As I say, there are good examples out there. That is another option for you. And the last thing I would say on that is overall, be realistic. If you are playing in a lower league, is it really worth sending something direct to a Premier League club? Be realistic. I'm a great fan of players progressing through the non-league setup, the non-league pyramid. If you're 16, 17, 18, 19, and you're playing first team football in steps one, this is in the English example, in the men's game, steps 1, 2, 3 or 4, you will get scouted. People will be coming to watch because that's a happy hunting ground for clubs now. So I'm a big fan of non-league. The non-league under 18s football, midweek, a lot of places, scouts go to that because they're available games. So think about where you can be seen. The non-league route, I'm a big fan of. Be realistic. Don't get in touch with me and say, I'm playing for the Dog and Duck and I think I should get a trial at, name a Premier League club. Be realistic. It's not going to happen. Work your way up. So, the last thing I would say is, you think you're at the level, but how do you know? If you're a parent and you've got a kid and you think my kid's good enough to get picked, how do you know? Do you watch academy football? Do you really know the level? You probably don't. And that's not surprising and no criticism of you. So how do you get assessed as to see whether you are or your kid is at the level? Well, that's where we come in, Scout and Game Limited, the business. What we do, we're not agents. We don't represent clubs. We don't guarantee to get you a trial anywhere, anything like that. I've mentioned how you do that. But if you want to know what level you're at, how close you are to professional level, or your child is, and what they need to do to get there, then get in touch with us. Direct message us when we'll do an assessment. That's what our business does, and that will help you progress. Thank you.
Thank you.